Welcome to a world where mutant genes intertwine with diabolical plans of a mastermind. Captivated by the recent release of the amazing Kraven the Hunter trailer, I found myself drawn into the intriguing tale surrounding this character. So in this video, we delve deep into one such story, the origin and story of Xraven. Let's unravel the web of secrets as we trace Xraven's creation, the mutant hunter destined to reshape the world of superheroes. Brace yourselves for a journey where we unveil the tale of Xraven's origin and the depths of his creator, Mr. Sinister's plans. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Who is Xraven? Xraven emerges as the creation of Mr. Sinister. For those who don't know about Mr. Sinister, he's known for his brilliant intellect, vast knowledge of genetics, and his ability to manipulate and alter the DNA of mutants. He is driven by a desire to create the ultimate mutant and believes that by manipulating and experimenting with mutant genes, he can shape the course of evolution. Xraven is one of his projects to fulfill his dream. Xraven is a perfect combination of powers that combines the abilities of the original X-Men with a primal strength and experience of Xraven. The intriguing question of how this fusion came to be will be revealed in this video. The sinister plot. The story begins with the mutants, the original X-Men, and Spider-Man unknowingly becoming pawns in Kraven the Hunter's evil plan. Following his release from prison, Kraven asserts in public that Spider-Man is in fact a mutant. Though lacking in credibility, this declaration was enough to incite the X-Men into launching a search mission for Spider-Man. Guided by Jean Grey's telepathic abilities, held in check, the X-Men begin their quest, leading them to a particular location. However, despite their best efforts, they are unable to locate Spider-Man. Meanwhile, Kraven, relentless in his pursuit, closes in on his intended prey, and so it seems. By a surprise attack on the X-Men, Kraven openly challenges Spider-Man to reveal himself, threatening the innocent lives of those around him. Swiftly responding to the distress call, Spider-Man joins forces with the X-Men to confront Kraven the Hunter. United in their fight, the combined might of the X-Men and Spider-Man falls short against Kraven's skills. The battle leaves no clear resolution as Kraven ultimately manages to escape, leaving behind a trail of serious injuries inflicted upon 5 members of the X-Men. The true motive behind Kraven's actions is later revealed. It becomes apparent that Spider-Man was never his primary target. Rather, Kraven's objective all along was to collect DNA samples from Marvel Girl, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. The entire encounter was an elaborate setup orchestrated by Kraven the Hunter along with Mr. Sinister. Sinister paid a fair price for this impressive task accomplished by Kraven, and for a higher price, he also collected Kraven's DNA himself. But what drove them to undertake such a complicated mission? Well, don't worry, we're here to tell you all about it. The sinister scheme unveiled. In a surprising turn of events that initially seemed like just another day of heroes battling villains and preventing nefarious deeds took a turn. Years later, when Kraven had died by committing suicide for reasons unknown, Spider-Man stumbled upon Kraven's secretly kept records, chronicling his prey and their encounters. While going through his files, one particular dossier caught his attention, an extensive compilation detailing the X-Men. It became apparent that Kraven had achieved his objective during their previous encounter, acquiring the DNA samples of all 5 X-Men and successfully delivering them to Mr. Sinister. Concerned by this discovery, Spider-Man wasted no time and brought the file to the attention of the X-Men team. However, with the original X-Men currently engaged in a fierce battle against the Marauders, Spider-Man was accompanied by a new roster of X-Men including Storm, Dazzler, Wolverine, and Kitty Pryde. Together, they went on a mission to locate the whereabouts mentioned in the file, leading them to the final meeting place between Kraven and Mr. Sinister, a laboratory shrouded in mystery. The clash between the X-Men and Sinister's Marauders proved to be an exhausting fight. The heroes eventually found their way into the depths of the Sinister laboratory, only to be confronted by a scene that sent shockwaves through their nerves. The lab contained decaying bodies of X-Men clones, their lives mercilessly manipulated and discarded like lab rats. As the fierce battle raged on, the mysterious lab met its destruction, crumbling under the weight of the intense conflict. Yet, even with Kraven's demise, the presence of Mr. Sinister threatened the X-Men. Now, the X-Men had a little clue about Sinister's intentions. There were possible mutant clones of the original X-Men, but the team was still not sure about what exactly Sinister was planning. Little did they know that Sinister had ensured a part of Kraven's legacy lived on, leaving the heroes to face greater troubles and challenges. Weapon in making. A new lead dawned upon the X-Men, shedding light on Mr. Sinister's search for Miles Warren, a renowned figure famous for his cloning experiments. It was Miles Warren who had engineered the clone of Spider-Man, the Scarlet Spider Ben Reilly, who now found himself burdened with the responsibility of saving the city. Recognizing Ben's unique insight, the X-Men sought his aid in uncovering the mystery surrounding Sinister's intentions. Their investigation revealed that Mr. Sinister was pursuing Cletus Cassidy to get his hands on Carnage, the symbiote. However, it became evident that Sinister's true objective was not to capture Carnage, but rather to acquire a fragment of the alien symbiote. With this knowledge in hand, the X-Men, accompanied by the cloned Spider-Man, went on a mission to stop Sinister from executing his plan. Despite their efforts, the team arrived just in the nick of time, only to witness Sinister successfully achieve his goal, running off with what he wanted. Nevertheless, the group managed to recapture Carnage, preventing further devastation in the city. Meanwhile, in the possession of the essential elements required for his grand design, Sinister's plans reached its next phase. His diabolical plan was now set in motion, as he aimed to forge a perfect clone, gifted with enhanced qualities surpassing those of its genetic donor. The X-Men, their newfound ally Ben Reilly, found themselves clueless, as all they could do was wait for Sinister's new weapon to unfold itself. What's the weapon, or rather, who's the weapon? The end of Mr. Sinister's twisted experiments arrived with the success of Experiment X-63. Through careful distillation of the sample extracted from Carnage, Sinister achieved his goal, the creation of a weapon known as the Mutant Hunter. Devoid of any identity of his own, this creature believed himself to be Kraven. Yet he was nothing but an obedient soldier, dutifully serving Sinister's evil agenda. He was a look-alike of Kraven, but more in the zombie zone. The skin color is pale and he is far more dreadful looking than Kraven himself. Upon his awakening, the Mutant Hunter was assigned with a crucial mission, one that would determine his worth in the eyes of Sinister. A name would be granted if he proved his mettle. Tasked with collecting the DNA samples of other mutants, the Mutant Hunter set out on his mission with utter determination. Xraven, the Hunter, made a dramatic entrance by cutting the power of the site. He launched an assault on the X-Men one by one. His acquired clone skills proved devastating as he swiftly incapacitated each member of the team. With a knife in hand, he stabbed Wolverine, rendering him momentarily helpless. As shocking as it may sound, Xraven plunged a vibranium knife into Colossus's body, turning his normally impenetrable metal form into vulnerable flesh. Utilizing his mastery over ice, Xraven froze Spider-Man's webbing, neutralizing one of his primary means of attack. His beast-like strength proved mighty against Nightcrawler's teleportation abilities, allowing Xraven to hold his ground. He unleashed laser beams mimicking Cyclops' optic blasts, which intensified the assault. To further demonstrate his clone powers, Xraven temporarily blocked the heightened senses of both Wolverine and Spider-Man, showcasing his control over Jean Grey's telepathic abilities. This ability to manipulate and harness the powers of others added another layer to Xraven's already formidable arsenal. As Xraven continued his assault, the X-Men found themselves facing an adversary who combined their own strengths and abilities against them. When questioned about his name, he declared himself as Xraven, the name he had chosen. However, as the X-Men engaged Xraven in a heated exchange, they managed to chip away at his delusions, revealing the true nature of Sinister's manipulations. The X-Men exposed the puppeteer behind Xraven's existence, showing how Sinister controlled him and reduced him to a mere pawn. This realization left Xraven humiliated and maybe even enlightened. He departed from the scene, but he got what he came for. Meanwhile, the X-Men confronted the harsh reality that Xraven had acquired the DNA samples of all the mutants, leaving them hanging on a cliff. Despite the looming threat, our heroes kept their spirits high, preparing themselves mentally for whatever trials awaited them. As Xraven stood face to face with Sinister, a newfound clarity coursed through his being. He embraced his true purpose as a warrior, a hunter, refusing to remain a mere puppet enslaved to Sinister's wishes. During the confrontation between Xraven and Sinister, their powers clashed in a battle of wills. The ultimate outcome of this intense struggle remained inconclusive, shrouded in uncertainty. Nevertheless, the fact that Xraven defied Sinister's control and asserted his independence stood as an achievement. What makes Xraven so deadly? Let's take a look at some of the most exhilarating powers of Xraven. As we know, this remarkable being is the fusion of Kraven the Hunter and the original X-Men. Drawing upon the powers of Kraven the Hunter, he possesses a superhuman arsenal that sets him apart from the original Hunter himself. With muscles rippling with power, Xraven wields superhuman strength, allowing him to go toe-to-toe with the most powerful mutants. His speed surpasses the bounds of natural capability, thrusting him with thundering velocity. With lightning-fast reflexes and agility to match, he moves, evading attacks and striking back with lethal precision. And let's not forget his remarkable stamina and durability, granting him the ability to endure battles and emerge unscathed. Whether it's his adaptability to or engaging in intense combat, Xraven can keep going on and on, fortified by his superhuman endurance. He seamlessly assimilates the powers of the original 5 X-Men, granting him a range of abilities that amplify his already amazing skill set. Embracing the flight power of Angel, Xraven takes flight, adapting effortlessly to the demands of airborne combat. No obstacle is too high and no escape is beyond his reach. Channeling the genetic reversion of Beast, he taps into his primal instincts, enhancing his senses and unlocking latent abilities hidden deep within his genetic makeup. This untamed power gives him an edge, honing his hunting skills to an extraordinary level. Drawing inspiration from Cyclops, Xraven manifests the ability to unleash devastating optic blasts. With a single glance, he can unleash a torrent of raw energy. He also commands the chilling powers of Iceman, wielding cryokinesis to manipulate ice and cold with unrivaled finesse. He freezes his opponents in their tracks, transforming the battlefield into a frozen wasteland. And last but certainly not least, Xraven harnesses the incredible telepathic prowess of Jean Grey. With a thought, he delves into the minds of others, peering into their deepest secrets and manipulating their thoughts to serve his purposes. Conclusion. In conclusion, it's fascinating to think about Sinister's plans involving Xraven, combining the DNA of multiple heroes into a superpowered clone which looks like a predecessor to the Chimera-class mutants. These are mutants who are specifically cloned with the DNA and powers of multiple mutants. While Xraven may not possess the same level of power as Rasputin, however, there looks like an unexpected link between one of Spider-Man's long-standing foes and the potential future of the X-Men. Only time will reveal what's more to come, and when it does, we'll be sure to notify you, so go ahead and hit that bell icon. But until then, keep on watching.